When we are working with a new vendor who's starting to use Tackle, who's starting to jumpstart their co-sell or their marketplace programs, they often ask, "What should my first goal be? What should I try to do? Um, how much how will I know when I've reached some level of success?" And how do you answer, Aaron, when you get that question?
Yeah, I always tell ISVs to identify some early indicators of success. Um, get your first couple of wins under your belt. Get one or two sales reps who like buy into. I felt that support from the cloud partner. Um, Try to get a percentage of your revenue to go through the cloud marketplace. So could you look at 2%, maybe up to 5% of your revenue going through the cloud marketplace as an early indicator of success. So when you have your business case and you want to try and prove out that business case, what are those proof points? And then go try to capture those to then establish that, okay, we're incubating this idea, we're getting adoption, we're ready for our next level of investment. And also, you will see the cloud partnership as well start to hit some of your cloud partnership metrics because every cloud partner has different program metrics that they want you to hit. So using the cloud partners program metrics as your early indicators of success.
And so you mean when you said looking at percentage of revenue, you mean like the overall revenue that your company's doing?
Yeah, so if you are an ARR company and you're like,
Mhm.
hey, we're going to do, $100 million in business this year, what do you think you could take 2% of that number or 5% of that number and actually transact it through the marketplace, through one of the cloud marketplaces, or across the marketplaces that you're in. And then that, like, once you have that number, you'll immediately, like, in talking to ISVs, you see this like light bulb go off and they're like, I can do that. We could do that. Or, ooh, that seems a little high. Like, maybe we need to dial it back down to like a more reasonable number. But at least it starts to give them a benchmark and something to anchor around and say, like, that's feasible, that's not feasible.
So you think that 2 or 5% might be a good goal for the first year of this program, or what kind of a timeline do you usually start with when you're trying to pick that magic number?
Yeah, I always set you, it's important to set those expectations. And I think like 0 to 12, 0 to 18 months, you should is a reasonable time frame to think about like that initial establishing your foundation with in your go to market and within your partnership and starting to build adoption. Like 0 to 18 months is really more realistic. You can get through that faster depending on a lot of different factors, but that is really a reasonable time frame that this will take you somewhere in a year to 18 months to really get that kind of traction going.
Awesome. So when you're building up towards that over your first 12 or 18 months. But what does a great ISV look like? Like one who has been doing this for a few years and really has their program dialed in. What kind of a percentage of revenue do you typically think that they're seeing?
Well, we're actually hearing from some of those ISVs that we have been helping with their cloud go to market strategy over a couple of years now. We've been with them in their journey, and some of those ISVs are at 20% or more of their revenue is going through the cloud marketplaces.